This is section 1-5, solving inequalities. Our objective today is I can solve inequalities and graph them on a number line. For any two real numbers, a and b, exactly one of the true is following. A is less than b, a is equal to b, or a is greater than b. We can add the same number to or subtract the same number from both sides of the inequality without changing the truth of the inequality. We have the addition property of inequality and the subtraction property of inequality. We use these properties to solve inequalities. The solution sets of inequalities in one variable can be graphed on a number line. Solve an inequality using addition or subtraction. In the first example, we're solving y minus 6 is less than 3, and we're going to graph the solution set on a number line. Hint, the solution can be expressed in set builder notation, which says here, it just says that given y is less than 9. So let's go ahead and work on this first one. So our equation is y minus 6 is less than 3. And all we're trying to do here is solve the equation. So exactly as if it was y minus 6 equals 3. So we're going to add 6 to both sides. So we have y is less than 9. And this matches our set notation up here that they gave us as a hint. And now we want to go ahead and graph this. So we're going to make our number line. Whatever we're given, which in this case is a 9, we're going to put that right in the middle of our number line. And then we want to make some numbers that are to either side of that. So I'm going to do 10, 11, 8, and 7. Now remember, if our inequality does not have a line underneath, then the circle that goes on the 9 is going to be open. If it did have if it did have a line underneath here, so right here, we would have to shade in our circle here, but this one doesn't have that. So since y is less than 9, we want to shade in the values that are less than 9, which in this case are 8 and 7, and all of the values down here would be less than 9. Remember, you can also look at this inequality, and you can kind of picture that it's an arrow, and that it's pointing this way. And so we know we want to shade this way on the graph. Alright, moving on. We know that if we multiply on one side, we must multiply on the other. If we divide on one side, we must divide on the other. Now, something that's special is that if we multiply or divide by a negative number, we must switch the sign of the inequality. So let's go ahead and look at our example. It says to solve an inequality using multiplication or division. And it says that our example is negative 4.2x is less than or equal to negative 29.4. And they also want us to graph this on a number line, and they want us to go ahead and fill in our set notation. So we have negative 4.2x is less than or equal to negative 29.4. And to get the x by itself, right now x is being multiplied with negative 4.2, so we want to do the opposite. So the opposite of division, or opposite of multiplication, is division. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 4.2. Now remember, since I divided by a negative, I want to make sure that I'm flipping the way that my sign is going. So I'm going to change him to go this way. And negative 4.2 divided by negative 4.2 is just 1, so I'm going to have x is greater than or equal to negative 29.4 divided by negative 4.2 is going to give us 7. So we can go ahead and fill our area in up here for our set notation. So we have x is greater than or equal to 7. Now, I do want to go ahead and graph this on a number line. We'll put our 7 in the middle, an 8 and a 9 up top, and a 6 and a 5 down below. We're going to go ahead and put our circle on 7. Now, since this is a line underneath, we want to make sure we're shading in our circle. So we'll shade him in. And then it says that x is greater than 7, so we want to fill in the values that are greater than 7, which is 8 and 9 and any number up here. Remember, we can also look at this as an arrow pointing to the right, so we would know we shade to the right. Looking at our next example, it says to write and solve the inequality based off of what they're telling us. It says Enrique's company pays Salem to advertise on Salem's website. Salem's website earns $15 per month plus 5 cents every time a visitor clicks on the advertisement. What is the least number of clicks per month that Salem needs in order to earn $50 per month or more? So, first we need to think about what exactly are we looking for. Well, we want to know the number. It says that we want to know the number of clicks. So, we'll go ahead and fill that in. Number of clicks per month. Okay, so now we need to actually write the inequality. So we know that they earned $15 a month, so we can go ahead and just write that as 15, plus, so I'll put my plus sign, 0.05, so 5 cents every time a visitor clicks on the advertisement. Now, we don't know how many clicks there are, so I'm just going to put a C for 5 cents times every click they get. And then it says that what is the least number of clicks per month that Salem needs in order to earn $50 per month or more? So $50 is what we want it to equal to. It can be either equal to, or we want this amount over here to be either equal to 50, or we want this amount to be greater than 50. They want to make sure they're making $50. So we're going to say is greater than or equal to 50. And if we go ahead and solve this, we'll subtract 15 from both sides. So we end up with 0.05c is greater than or equal to 35. And then if we divide by 0.05, our 5 cents, we're going to end up with c is greater than or equal to 700, which means there's going to need to be at least 700 clicks during that month for it to be the amount, or for them to make the amount of money that they want to make, which is the $50. So we can also graph this if we want to. And it doesn't say that we have to graph it, but I'm going to go ahead and graph it just so we can get our practice in with graphing. So we know 700 is here. I'm just going to go ahead and count by hundreds on this. You could put 701 if you wanted, and then do 699 if you wanted to. And then we're going to have a closed circle because of that line underneath the inequality. So we'll go ahead and fill him in. And then it says that C is greater than or equal to 700. So we want to fill in the values up here that are greater than 700. Okay, so what I want you to do for your homework, I want you to go through, and there were several sections that said your turn that we didn't fill in on the notes. So what I'd like for you to do is go ahead and write those your turns on a separate sheet of paper and go ahead and solve those for your homework. And in addition, I want you to solve, there's, I believe, 4 problems at the end of the notes, A, B, C, and D. I would also like for you to solve those for your homework.